Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, the 2010 Grand Marshal is Regina Cahill. The marching band works double time to prepare for its parade appearance, and later in this half hour, two recent events that help to celebrate the city's 350th birthday. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on the 2010 Grand Marshal announcement. Labor Day Parade Director Ed Thurber and Mayor Nancy Stevens announced on Monday that lifelong Marlborough resident Regina Cahill has been named Grand Marshal of Marlborough's 59th Annual Labor Day Parade.
We couldn't be more thrilled to have Regina as our Grand Marshal. She's a staple in this building, and everybody just loves her. She's very involved in the community. We're just so excited that Regina has accepted this great honor.
Cahill is being recognized by her friends and colleagues at City Hall for her many years in service to the city of Marlborough. Ms. Cahill holds the distinction as the longest-serving city employee. In October of this year, Regina will mark her 50th anniversary working for the city of Marlborough. Since 1960, her dedication to our community, commitment to her work, as well as her gentle and caring nature, has made her a truly valued colleague and friend of this city.
We thought it was a great city celebrating a 350th anniversary to have a dedicated employee with 50 years of service to the city. You want to say anything, Regina?
Just thank you, and it's a great honor.
Well, thank you very much. So we remind everybody to come to Labor Day Parade on September 6th. We look forward to seeing you there, and when you see Regina come by in the car, give her a big hand.
The 2010 Labor Day weekend is finally here, and there's lots for you and your family to take part in. Here's the rundown of events. In conjunction with the celebration of Marlborough's 350th anniversary, this year's Labor Day weekend promises to be the city's most festive in years. From dances to picnics, time capsule openings to a scavenger hunt, fireworks to the big parade itself, there will be something for everyone. The festivities will kick off with family movie night Friday, September 3rd at 7:30 p.m. at the front lawn of the Walker Building on Main Street. The movie Up will be shown, and admission is free. On Saturday, September 4th, the Hillside School on Robin Hill Road will host the Starlight Ball from 7 p.m. to midnight. There will be hors d'oeuvres, live music, a special presentation, and dancing. Tickets are $35. On Sunday, September 5th, the fun continues with the opening of the 1960 to 2010 time capsule outside the Marlborough Public Library at 2 p.m. The time capsule was unearthed Thursday afternoon and was opened. The contents of the 50-year-old capsule will be presented this Sunday. All residents are sure to find the contents interesting. Following the time capsule event, all adults and children present will participate in a family scavenger hunt. Later that evening, fireworks return to Marlborough. Get to the track and field area behind the 1st Lieutenant Whitcomb School, formerly the 4 to 7 school, early, as it's sure to fill up quickly. Then Monday, September 6th, hundreds, if not thousands, will march in Marlborough's annual Labor Day Parade, while as many as 100,000 watch the proceedings. During this celebratory year, the parade promises to be bigger and better than ever. To ensure a flawless performance come Labor Day, the students and faculty of the music programs put in countless hours that many do not see, including band camp, 6 hours a day of music and movement starting the week before all other students return to class. Our students must be present for the Labor Day Parade, Veterans Day Parade, and Memorial Day Parade. They also are required to be at every home football game and the Thanksgiving Day game. We caught the bands in action on the final full day they were at the high school up on Vital Field practicing. The band ran the full show several times through. The Grecian Festival, which takes place at the Greek Orthodox Church on Central Street, has become a staple in everyone's Labor Day weekend plans. The festival is a go again this year, rain or shine. Visitors to the Grecian Festival this weekend will get an early look at the Greek Orthodox Church's new community center. The annual event, which runs from Saturday to Monday, will take place outside the church and downstairs in the community center. The festival features Greek food, music, dancing, and children's entertainment. The center is expected to be finished in the fall. It will replace the church's old function hall that was destroyed in a fire about 10 years ago. Last year's event drew more than 3,000 people. The Grecian Festival Hospital is celebrating its 5th anniversary. The event runs from noon to 8 on Saturday and Sunday, and from noon to 5 on Monday. The church is at Cashman and Central Streets. Admission is free, and the event will be held rain or shine.
Finance Committee members Monday night tried to establish an agreement on a bond package that they hope will improve the city's infrastructure. At the end of their 3-hour meeting, committee members recommended more than $11 million in bonds to address needs in 11 categories. The full City Council must give final approval. The bond package recommended by the committee calls for spending on several major projects. The city's new superintendent started the first day of school on Wednesday like hundreds of his students, on the bus with a backpack. In outlining his plan for his first 3 months, Anthony Pope told the school committee Tuesday night he will start the year at a bus stop. Pope plans to ride buses for the next 2 weeks to analyze the safety of the routes and keep in touch with students and parents. Pope's other goals over the coming months include building trust and relationships, identifying strengths and weaknesses, and learning the history of the community and district. In other business, school committee member Mark Hediger said the negotiations subcommittee has a memorandum of agreement with the teachers union that is under review. The Marlborough Educators Association has worked without a contract since the beginning of the 2009-2010 school year. The union plans to vote on the proposal on September 7th. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
Opening ceremonies for the school district's faculty and staff took place on Monday morning. Newly appointed school superintendent Anthony Pope spoke to teachers and answered numerous questions. The city's new superintendent welcomed back his staff to school on Monday morning. Pope believes the hundreds of teachers, administrators, and other employees who pack the Whitcomb School Auditorium will make Marlborough a world-class district. Pope grew up in inner-city Houston, one of 200,000 students in the school district. He's the 4th superintendent of the school department in about 5 years. Pope has been working with retiring superintendent Mary Carlson this summer. Carlson, who started working in Marlborough schools in 1975, was one of dozens of employees who received awards for years of service on Monday. Students started school on Wednesday. As Dr. Pope begins his first school year in the district, outgoing Superintendent Mary Carlson is saying goodbye. Although not officially done until October 3rd, Mary has already begun to feel a bit emotional about her exit.
I just really have a belief system that says, you know, you live each day to the fullest. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, and embrace it. And that's what I do.
Mary Carlson grew up in Marlborough and has worked in the city schools since 1975. Carlson graduated from Marlborough High School in 1970 and earned an undergraduate degree in health and physical education before accepting a job as a physical education teacher in Marlborough elementary schools in 1975.
I always had a goal of coming back and teaching in the district that I felt I got so much from.
She later earned her master's at Framingham State College and also taught physical education at the junior high.
What a neat job. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. To be teaching kindergarten children, really everything from how to hop and skip and jump, which seems so simple, but it really gets down to the basics of analyzing, you know, some skills of how children, some kids don't know how to skip or can't understand the mechanics of that.
In the mid-1980s, when health education became a mandate in the public schools, Carlson began writing health curriculum for K through 12.
I started to work with developing the curriculum, working with the state, and then training some of our teachers in terms of how to implement health ed in the schools with their kids.
She later interned for a year under Susan Pecor, principal of the Kane School, and interned under former superintendent David Flynn before moving to the high school, where she would spend 15 years.
Wonderful, wonderful opportunity. I wrote policy, and policy that I wrote at the time that went to school committee was around HIV and AIDS, which was really hitting the forefront. How do you deal with that in schools? Presented that to school committee. I also worked on budget at the time.
Carlson was an administrative assistant for the 8th grade the first year that grade was moved to the high school.
That started really my career as a high school administrator, as an assistant principal for 8 years, and then as a high school principal for 7 more.
In 2008, she took over as interim superintendent after the early departure of former superintendent Barbara McGann, and was later named to fill the post permanently until her planned retirement date of October 3rd of 2010.
I really believe when doors open, you walk through them. And I would say that to anybody who thinks that, and you can always walk back, you see. And so if a challenge is there and somebody feels that you're the right person or the right fit for that job, step through, because those opportunities don't always open up.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, a Fort Meadow Day draws hundreds of people to Memorial Beach. But first, Corbin Plaza is sold once again. That story's next. Please stay with us.
Hi, I'm Gina Lettery with the Buddy Dog Humane Society, here with some summer safety tips for you and your pet. We all have places to go and people to see in the summer, so let's take a look at some tips for keeping your pet safe on the go. It may seem cool to let your pet sit next to you in the car, but this can become a distraction for the driver and may cause an accident. Always provide your pet with a well-ventilated crate or carrier when traveling, or use a seatbelt specifically designed for pets. And no matter how cool or fun you think it is, never let your dog travel in the bed of your truck. Even at the lowest speeds, your dog can get ejected from the truck during quick stops and turns. And remember, it's against the law. Always secure a carrier or crate to the bed if you must travel this way. Follow these simple rules and your buddy will thank you.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The auction of the partially remodeled buildings of Corbin Plaza on Pleasant Street was held Thursday afternoon. The pending auction comes a little more than 4 months after the corporation stated it sold it to Robert McCart for $330,000 on April 14th. For the third time in nearly 2 years, Corbin Plaza, a vacant 24,000 square foot building at 118 Pleasant Street, sold at auction on Thursday afternoon.
Quarter, I've gotten 30 now. 325 and 330 to you.
Stas Burden, a managing partner out of Newton, Massachusetts, won the 4-story building with a bid of $356,000. Sudarshan Chatterjee, a doctor from North Andover, won the building in December 2008 with a $310,000 bid at an auction at City Hall. According to the terms and conditions of the sale at the 2008 auction, the city wanted property construction to begin by January 2011 and finish within 2 years. The mayor says she hopes to work with the new owner on the property's development. The city had decided to sell Corbin Plaza at auction after foreclosing on the property early in 2008. The former landlord, Richard Bland, could not pay the back taxes and owed about $790,000, including interest and penalties. J.J. Manning, the auctioneer, started off the bidding at $100,000. Within about 5 minutes, Burden had placed his winning bid. A foreclosed home on Preston Street has been cleaned up and is now on the market. The city recently bought the house, renovated it, and is now making it available for affordable housing ownership. Just one single foreclosed home can be devastating for a street, but the city turned that around on Preston Street. The city recently bought 76 Preston Street, renovated it, and is now making it available for affordable housing ownership. A ribbon cutting was held Wednesday afternoon.
You can tell by just taking a walk down some of our streets that the economic crisis bore down pretty hard on French Hill. And completed projects like this lovely Preston Street home, the Belmont Street project, the St. Mary's condos and the Renaissance lofts have already really begun to help French Hill to rebound. And we need ongoing public and private investments to ensure that we do recover.
Tina Brooks, State Housing and Community Development Undersecretary, commended the local team working on housing purchases and renovations.
You're demonstrating that it's possible to come in and turn some of these properties around, gives the whole community confidence that foreclosure is not going to beat you up. It's not going to get you down. There's a way to survive it. There's a way to get past it.
The city's Community Development Authority received $1 million through a federal neighborhood stabilization program. The money was used to buy 4 previously foreclosed single-family homes in and around the French Hill area.
Hopefully we can keep this going, and with the CDA's help, have more and more of these open houses and ribbon cuttings along the way.
The home at 5 Gleason Street is under repair and will also be sold.
I know this is such a special neighborhood. I know that the association takes such pride in making sure that each part of the neighborhood is paid fair attention. And I think what better example of that than this ribbon cutting and this ceremony.
State Representative Danielle Gregoire stated a number of her relatives come from the area and is pleased with this renovation.
Today is a shining example of what can be done when everyone comes together and works on a project, and I am thrilled to be here.
The nearly finished renovations at 76 Preston Street include painting, flooring, a rebuilt front porch, and a repaired roof. The renovations cost about $86,000. The Preston Street house is for sale for $200,000. The CDA is accepting applications for the homes through October 11th. The authority will use the proceeds from the house sales to buy other homes. For more information, visit marlborough-ma.gov. A chance for residents to help preserve the city's assets is about to come your way. The Community Preservation Act is a new tool to help communities preserve open space and historic sites. Here are the details and how you can become a supporter.
As a city, we need to have funds in order to purchase open space, in order to either rehabilitate or completely refurbish historic sites and buildings.
The Marlborough Community Preservation Committee worked hard to give Marlborough voters an opportunity to adopt the Community Preservation Act. In the upcoming November election on November 2nd, there will be a ballot question regarding this act.
There are so many things that require money in order for us to be able to maintain the quality of life that people have come to expect.
Despite speaking to a number of people in the community about the act while collecting signatures, Paquin stated there are a lot of residents who do not understand what it actually will mean for the city.
It was a very positive response. People were clearly a little nervous about the cost, but when we explained to them that it's really a minimal cost for each taxpayer, and we showed them the benefits that could be gained from passing the CPA to become a CPA community, we got a very positive response.
The CPA was signed by Governor Paul Cellucci a decade ago on September 14, 2000, to help communities set aside money for open space, historic preservation, and the opportunity to create more recreational space in addition to affordable housing.
For the median assessed home value in the city, which is currently at $315,000, and at our proposed 2% surcharge with a $100,000 exemption, that would simply mean $58 a year.
For more information, please visit marlboroughcpa.org.
There you can not only learn what it would cost you as a taxpayer, you can see some of the projects that we might propose, and just learn in general what other communities have done with CPA monies.
We've been talking all year long about the city's 350th birthday and all the events that have gone along with it. Last weekend was full of fun and we were there. Let's begin with a day at Marlborough Airport. Hundreds of area residents enjoyed a day at Marlborough Airport last weekend, a special event that was part of Marlborough's year-long 350th anniversary celebration. A variety of airplanes were on display, as were some classic automobiles. There was also a booth and display relating to aviation. There was no charge for admission, but for a fee, some people enjoyed helicopter and airplane rides. Marlborough Airport, located at 685 Farm Road, was founded in 1922. According to owner Robert Stetson, there is an average of about 250 takeoffs and landings a week. The facility is used for a variety of purposes and is sometimes called into action as a transfer point for medical emergencies. Stetson believes that the airport does not receive the attention it deserves, and this day was exactly what it needed to promote aviation and, more importantly, to show what the airport does on a daily basis. One visitor in particular was thrilled to be at the airport, and until Sunday, veteran pilot Mary Fike had never visited Marlborough Airport.
This is what I call grassroots aviation. There is nothing like it in the whole world, because you see all these wonderful little airplanes of all sizes, shapes, and abilities, and there's nothing more uplifting than to see this, because most people can relate to this when they couldn't relate to a Boeing 777.
Starting on a yellow biplane, Fike learned to fly. She became a test pilot and eventually logging more than 6,000 hours on a range of military propeller planes. This led her to write manuals on safety, maintenance, and training. In 1966, Fike became the first woman to win the Federal Aviation Administration's Chuck Taylor Master Mechanic Award, which is named after the engine builder for the Wright brothers and requires at least 50 years of working on airplanes. She still flies her Piper Comanche when she has time. She travels to give workshops on airplane maintenance and restoration, as well as to work with young students and provide career advice to them.
I have almost 16,000 hours of flying and I still have my own airplane, I still fly. And I say the reason I can do it is because I did in my life what I really love to do.
Then on Sunday, Memorial Beach was buzzing with excitement as the city held a Fort Meadow Day. Whether you relived your youth or experienced it for the first time, spectators were delighted last weekend with a ski show at Fort Meadow in Marlborough. The August 29th event was another part of the city's celebration of its 350th birthday. Water skiing is nothing new to this lake. In fact, competitive water skiing was the highlight of the summer months. Back in the late 1950s and early 1960s, area youngsters formed the Fort Meadow Ski Club. In its early days, the Fort Meadow Ski Club was the largest club in the East, boasting 130 members, even larger than Florida clubs. Fast forward to 2010, last Sunday brought together family and friends to Memorial Beach to watch talented water skiers from the greater Marlborough area strut their stuff. Spectators enjoyed jumps, slaloms, and trick skiing from the sands of the beach as boats traveled back and forth from the Hosmer Street dock to Centennial Beach in Hudson. The day started with a leisurely canoe or kayak panel along the shores of Fort Meadow. And then following the ski show, everyone enjoyed a boat parade. Boat owners decorated their crafts and navigated the lake, ending up at Memorial Beach where prizes were awarded. And most importantly, Lou Galoni, who was the recreation department head for over 40 years, was honored. Numerous individuals spoke about Lou and the impact that he had on their lives through the years. It was a touching day for all who took part. A fundraising motorcycle ride, your pet of the week, and your weather outlook for the weekend and into next week. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
80% of U.S. fire deaths occur in the home. Hi, I'm firefighter Mark Asenko, here with some fire safety tips for you. Stay in the kitchen when you are frying, grilling, or broiling food. Talking on the phone, watching TV, using the computer are all distractions that can lead to home fires. Avoid wearing loose-fitting clothing when you are cooking. Pay attention when using the microwave. The simplest things such as cooking popcorn could cause a fire. Keep kids and pets away from the stove while you are cooking. Some of these tips may seem obvious, but they do save lives. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The Citizens Scholarship Foundation's recent motorcycle ride teamed up with a local family for the first time to raise funds for 2 local scholarships. Here's more on this story.
Well, this is our 4th year, and it's benefiting Citizens for Scholarship Fund of Marlborough. And this year we have a partner in George LaRasa in the memory of his daughter, Shauna Jean.
Shauna Jean LaRasa loved hopping onto the back of her father's motorcycle, so it's only fitting that family and friends gathered together as part of the Shauna Jean LaRasa Memorial Scholarship and the Citizen Scholarship of Marlborough motorcycle ride and cookout.
Sadly, George lost his daughter last July. He came to our ride. He's been good friends to many of us. We approached him in a very respectful manner, and he ran with the idea, and it's been terrific.
Steve Leduc, co-president of the Citizens Scholarship of Marlborough, says this is the 4th motorcycle ride that raises money to give scholarships to students in financial need.
We get to cherish the memory of Shauna, but we get to, in turn, let that benefit young people who need resources to better themselves through their college education.
On average, the scholarship awards $1,000 per person. The organization has been around 20 years. This is the first time a ride has been named in honor of someone.
We probably quadrupled it, if not more. You can see just by the activity of people now, just getting set up, getting ready for their arrival to feed them and entertain them. There's a lot more to it, but the CSF people and friends and family of George have all stepped up to a degree that is very, very encouraging.
The 42-mile ride started in Marlborough and weaved through Southborough, Hopkinton, Westborough, Northborough, Boylston, Clinton, Berlin, and Hudson before ending back in Marlborough.
Last year we rewarded 40 recipients, and the more money we have, the more money we're able to give. So that's why it's important that we have successful events and raise significant money, and people can feel good that when they make a donation to us, it's going to a very, very good cause.
Today we have Reggie, and Reggie is a great dog. He's a 4-year-old coon mix. He is wonderful with other dogs. He walks well on a leash. He's housebroken, and he's really a pretty mellow guy. He's going to make a great family pet. If you're interested, please call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
Despite Hurricane Earl giving us some rainy weather on Friday, the weekend looks great, including Monday, just in time for the Labor Day parade. Let's take a look at your 5-day forecast. Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Before we go, we just want to remind you to visit marlborough350.org. It is all the information you may need about this weekend's activities. That's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, the 59th Annual Labor Day Parade draws thousands to the area. Police are searching for individuals involved with vandalism at the former Bigelow School, plus a 1960 time capsule was unearthed and opened for all to see. And later in this half hour, fireworks to celebrate the city's 350th birthday. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on the 59th Annual Labor Day Parade. Always a big event, the annual Labor Day Parade had special significance this year, with the city celebrating its 350th birthday. The parade began at noon on Monday and ran nearly 2 miles from Pleasant Street to Maple Street. The 150 marching units included the Marlborough High School Band, the Hellamore Clydesdales, and the Aleppo Shriners. Many groups built floats with the 350th anniversary in mind. This year's Grand Marshal was Regina Cahill. Regina Cahill was recognized by her friends and colleagues at City Hall for her many years in service to the city of Marlborough. Miss Cahill holds the distinction as the longest-serving city employee. In October of this year, Regina will mark her 50th anniversary working for the city of Marlborough. Since 1960, her dedication to our community, commitment to her work, as well as her gentle and caring nature, has made her a truly valued colleague and friend of this city. In 1952, Mayor Romeo Gadbois founded the first annual Labor Day Parade as a way to brighten the lives of the Marlborough area communities, which were, along with the rest of the nation, rebounding from World War II and then set back by the onset of the Korean War. The first parade, managed by Lou Galoni, the city's first recreation director, consisted of about 12 marching units. In the 58 years that followed, the parade has grown to be a New England premier event consisting over 150 bands, floats, and other entertaining entries. Over the years, the management and growth of the parade has been a volunteer effort, most of which is attributed to the efforts of George Wampum, who was the parade director from 1981 through 2008. Funds for the operation of the parade are partially a city line item, but the majority of the cost is covered by private and commercial donations. The parade featured dignitaries from Marlborough, England, and Akuruno City, Japan, where the school department has an exchange program. A special welcome and opening ceremony took place this past Saturday morning, and we were there. As part of our 350th celebration of the anniversary of Marlborough, individuals from Marlborough, England, and our sister city, Akuruno City, Japan, were invited to be the city's honored guests for the Labor Day weekend. Mayor Nancy Stevens, members of our city council, the 350th committee, and city department heads welcomed all of the guests with a ceremony on Saturday morning in the foyer of City Hall. A word from the mayor of Marlborough, England, and Akuruno City were given.
I hope our sister city relationship will be forever. Thank you and arigato.
Can I just say how delighted and honoured we are to be here for the 350th founding anniversary of Marlborough, the city of Marlborough. And thank you very much indeed for the very kind invitation.
Gifts from both parties were exchanged. From the Japanese delegation, Mayor Nancy Stevens accepted a wooden carving of City Hall. From the Marlborough, England delegation, a crystal decanter along with a painting of Marlborough, England City Hall was given in honor of their appreciation. In exchange, our Mayor Nancy Stevens gave both delegations a commemorative print that has been commissioned along with the 350th celebration memorabilia. Graffiti was found at the site of the former Bigelow School this week. Vandals damaged several areas around the school. Officials at the former Bigelow School, which is now the Assabet Valley Collaborative School, discovered that the building had been vandalized earlier this week. DPW employees are working to remove the graffiti off the building. In addition to the building, vandals spray-painted areas around the school, including the playground, signs, benches, skate ramp, and a tennis court. Police are currently actively searching for all individuals involved in this vandalism. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact the Marlborough Police Department immediately at 508-485-1212. A car burst into flames Wednesday afternoon around 3 p.m. in front of the Post Road Pantry at 27 Boston Post Road. A man went into the store and came out to find his car completely in flames. Luckily, the fire department extinguished the flames before anyone got hurt. The cause of the fire had not been determined as of Wednesday.
The City Council's Urban Affairs Committee Tuesday night quickly backed a proposal for a 24-hour drive-through ATM at a new TD Bank branch on East Main Street. The bank plans to tear down the 3-story building at 133 East Main Street, currently a South Middlesex Opportunity Council site, and build a new 1-story branch. Natick-based developer Crosspoint Associates has the building under agreement. The committee recommended approving the special permit, necessary for the drive-through service, with a 4-0 vote. The new building would have 3 drive-through lanes, each with a live teller during business hours. The bank plans to make the drive-through ATM, located along the side of the building, available when the business is closed. The bank also plans to have an ATM inside. Some councilors state they are worried about traffic at the site, which is on the corner of an intersection with a traffic signal. The city's traffic commission and the site plan review committee will discuss how cars could enter and leave the bank. If the developer is successful in acquiring all the proper permits, the goal is to tear the building down this year. The full city council will next vote on the special permit. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
At last week's school committee meeting, Superintendent Anthony Pope revealed a 3-month plan in which he will implement to further research our community and schools. You can now view the plan in a PDF format online by visiting msjnews.com. Look under local news. Each fall, the Rotary Club hosts an event at the high school to give senior students a dose of reality before they ship off to college. The 2010 Reality Fair is coming up in November, and they need volunteers. A joint service project of the Marlborough Rotary Club and the MHS chapter of Business Professionals of America, the Reality Fair presents a financial learning experience to students in an interactive and fun game format. Each year, more than 30 volunteers from local businesses and organizations participate in this intensive game to teach teens the importance of budgeting a paycheck. The fair presents the students with real business practitioners playing themselves as bankers, auto dealers, insurance agents, and more. Other volunteers fill some of the counseling and paymaster roles at the fair. However, according to Marlborough Rotary Club Reality Fair Chair Peggy Thorson, the greatest needs are for a furniture store and a clothing store. For further information, you can email Thorson at mathorson@verizon.net. Corbin Plaza on Pleasant Street was sold yet again at an auction last week. The managing partners plan to convert the property into 17 condominiums. Alt Redevelopment LLC purchased Corbin Plaza at an auction last week with a winning bid of $356,000. Managing partners Stas Burden and Alex Yarov plan to convert the property into 17 condominiums with a theme recognizing the city's historical place in the shoe industry. The buildings are located at the intersection of Pleasant and Chestnut Streets. The city had taken the buildings by tax foreclosure in January 2008 because the former owner owed the city more than $750,000 in back taxes, interest, and water lines dating to 1979. Decades ago, the building was the site of the B.A. Corbin Shoe Factory, makers of the famous Spalding golf shoes. This sketch shows a rendering of the developer's proposal. While Corbin Plaza has been a troubled site for years, its new owners have a track record of successful projects in the French Hill section of Marlborough. The developers bought the former St. Mary's Church on Broad Street in 2007 and a building on Elm Street in 2005 and have renovated both sites. The developers are thinking to name their renovated Corbin Plaza after S. Herbert Howe, the first mayor of the city in 1890. His family was among Marlborough's founding residents when Marlborough became a town in 1660. The new plan for Corbin Plaza is one of at least a half a dozen completed or contemplated improvements for the neighborhood in recent years. The Metro West Regional Transit Authority began a new bus route serving the East Marlborough area on Tuesday. Here are the details. The new Route 7C will be funded with a Jobs Access Reverse Commute grant from the Federal Transit Administration. The grant is designed to assist people by providing transportation to jobs. Service on the new Route 7C will operate on weekdays between 7 a.m. and 8:10 p.m. Route 7C will leave the MWRTA's central hub at 7 a.m. and will reach downtown Marlborough at 7:40 a.m. From downtown Marlborough, the bus will travel to Marlborough Hospital and will return to Route 20 via Route 85. The bus will continue along Route 20 until it reaches the Sudbury line. For people seeking additional information regarding the new bus service, including schedules and maps, please visit the MWRTA's website at mwrta.com. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, the opening of the 1960 time capsule in honor of the city's 350th birthday. But first, a Starlight Ball to celebrate our distinguished guests and our 350th committee. That story's next. Please stay with us.
This month on Living History.
Because it's so recognizable, and it's just a beautiful landmark that makes Marlborough distinctive.
The one thing that was a constant for him was his hatred of slavery.
He spent his whole life fighting the slave problem. He knew it was wrong.
While looking around, they spotted the John Brown Bell.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. A Starlight Ball at the Hillside School happened last weekend and took place in part of the 350th Celebration Labor Day weekend activities. It was a chance to celebrate our visiting dignitaries and our 350th committee.
It's really a beautiful facility. It's a gem in this community, and thank you for sharing and hosting your home with us this evening.
The Hillside School was full of excitement as it hosted the 350th anniversary celebrations Starlight Ball. The ball marked the beginning of the long-awaited Labor Day weekend and all that it had to offer. It was a chance to celebrate our birthday, but also to take a moment and look back at all that was accomplished throughout this year.
You know, we have had just a wonderful year of celebrations and culminating in this beautiful weekend with all the wonderful activities, you know, the ball tonight, and we have so many other activities over the weekend, the opening of the time capsule, the fireworks, the parade. It's a wonderful weekend.
Hundreds attended the ball, including our distinguished guests from Marlborough, England and Akiruno City, Japan.
We are from Akiruno City, the sister city of Marlborough City, and come here for celebrating the 350th anniversary.
Andrew Ross, the mayor of Marlborough, England, has truly enjoyed his stay here in the city.
Fantastic. We'll come again, and we're very much hoping that the people from Marlborough, Massachusetts will come back to visit Marlborough in England.
David Sherritt, the mayor's ceremonial officer, talked with us about the differences he has seen between Marlborough, England and Marlborough, Massachusetts.
The big difference in our two communities is the enormous hospitality that has been extended to us. And you put us to shame We really have been absolutely, we've only been here for, I think, 16 hours, and we have 2 councillors, the mayor and the mayoress and myself, and we are absolutely overwhelmed, and I must confess, slightly embarrassed by the absolutely marvellous hospitality and warmth.
A 350th committee had been put in place 2 years ago. While time flew by, countless hours were put in from some hard-working volunteers.
In this day and age, it's so rare to have people that are willing to give up and volunteer for things. And for you to give your time over this last year and a half really to help this community and to make this a wonderful celebration, I thank you so much for being here.
Trish Pope was the chairwoman of the 350th committee.
When you take on a task like this, it is not something that is easy. And Trish has not had an easy year this year personally. And on top of personal struggles and personal issues, she really has still stepped up. And I understand everything she's gone through this year, and I don't know how to thank her enough for everything that she's done, because even though she had these issues, she still never let this community down.
Trish Pope, the chair of the 350th committee, thanked the members for all that they have done.
The committee stepped up in a major way. We had all different kinds of events, but we have always focused on the family, because Marlborough is a community that is truly family-based. And whenever there is a need, everybody steps forward.
To continue with the city's 350th birthday, city employees helped to unearth a 1960 time capsule last week. 3 days later, a ceremony and viewing took place on the lawn of the Marlborough Public Library. People waited 3 days to see the contents of the capsule that had been unearthed, but no one seemed to mind the delay. As part of Marlborough's 350th anniversary, about 350 people gathered and stood 8 deep to catch a glimpse of the capsule's contents last Sunday afternoon. The event was presented by the City of Marlborough's 350th Celebration Committee, the Marlborough Public Library Board of Trustees, the Marlborough Public Library Foundation, and the Friends of the Marlborough Public Library. Through an opening ceremony before the unveiling, Mayor Nancy Stevens told the crowd,
The committee made a wise decision to try to dig it up rather than dig it up today, to dig it up on Thursday to make sure we could get it open and everything, and it took 3 hours to find it on Thursday. Apparently the marker was in one place and the time capsule was in another.
Once the capsule was opened, water laid on top of the items and the smell was less than pleasant.
There was one big plastic bag about this long, and inside this wet plastic bag were all these artifacts in other plastic bags. And let me tell you, the smell from 50 years ago was not very good.
Patty Lamp, creative organizer of the project, spent 2 days drying out the documents, getting rid of the smell, and putting them in new plastic sleeves. When the contents were shown, a pair of two-tone men's shoes and a pair of ladies' black suede spike heels rested on top of photographs, documents, and newspapers. Now that this capsule has been dug up, a new one is in the works to be planted for another 50 years. Anyone wishing to submit items for placement in the 2010 time capsule may do so by dropping them off at the Marlborough Public Library or the Marlborough Chamber of Commerce at 11 Florence Street. The burying of the City of Marlborough's 350th anniversary 2010 time capsule will take place on Sunday, October 3rd at 3 p.m. at the Marlborough Public Library. Later that evening at the field surrounding the First Lieutenant Whitcomb School, a cake celebration followed by a fireworks display took place. What's a birthday celebration without birthday cake? Thanks to a sweet donation from the Best Western Royal Plaza Hotel, Marriott Hotel, Holiday Inn, and Hannaford's grocery store, a cake was created by the Bistro Bakery and Cafe. There was also a children's cupcake decorating station. Children had the opportunity to decorate their very own special 350th birthday cupcake. Sergeant Daniel Clark, the singing trooper, accompanied by his wife, Mary Colarusso, as well as a drummer and keyboardist, performed prior to the fireworks display. A ceremonial cake presentation began at 7 p.m. along with a happy birthday rendition by all in attendance. Then it was the moment that everyone was waiting for, fireworks. Thanks to a $10,000 donation from St. Mary's Credit Union, this beloved display lasted 37 minutes and included a special 350th lighting display. Coming up, a way to identify your pets, your pet of the week, and your weather outlook for the weekend and into next week. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
80% of U.S. fire deaths occur in the home. Hi, I'm firefighter Mark Asenko, here with some fire safety tips for you. Stay in the kitchen when you are frying, grilling, or broiling food. Talking on the phone, watching TV, using the computer are all distractions that can lead to home fires. Avoid wearing loose-fitting clothing when you are cooking. Pay attention when using the microwave. The simplest things such as cooking popcorn could cause a fire. Keep kids and pets away from the stove while you are cooking. Some of these tips may seem obvious, but they do save lives. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Before we get to our pet of the week, Gina Lettery talks to us about microchipping your pet. Microchipping is a great tool to help identify pets, especially when they are lost or found.
A microchip is injected with a small hollow tube in between the shoulder blades of a dog. It's very simple and really pretty painless, and it should stay in that position so that that is the general area where you would scan. It's a good way to find a lost pet. We always recommend that you put an ID tag on the dog as well, but the microchip is an excellent backup. There are several different companies. Most places use a universal scanner, which will pick up chips from all of these companies, and there's websites and 800 numbers to help you locate that particular company. Today we have Junior, and Junior is just that. He's a little baby, he's about 8 weeks old. He is a cockapoo, which means he is half Cocker Spaniel and half Poodle. That means he will be very low shedding, but he is not housebroken yet because he's just a little one. So he's going to need a lot of care and a lot of training. He came to us with his litter mates, and we also had his dad here, whose name was Joey, and he's since been adopted. But if you're interested in Junior or any of the other puppies we have here at Buddy Dog, please feel free to call us. The number is 978-443-6990.
Let's take a look now at your 5-day forecast.
Hi, I'm firefighter Mark. I just got back from fighting a fire that could have been prevented. Here's an easy and simple way to protect you and your family from a fire. Change your batteries in your smoke detector. When replacing the batteries in your smoke detector, make sure that you have fresh, new batteries. When testing your smoke detector, you want to make sure that you push the test button. And don't forget about carbon monoxide in your home. There are 2 types of detectors to protect yourself from carbon monoxide. This one is battery operated and needs to be mounted on your wall. This one needs to be plugged into your wall outlet. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. We just want to remind you that even though most of our celebration activities are over, you can still buy special 350th items on the city's celebration website at marlborough350.org. The next event is coming up on October 3rd as we celebrate the annual Heritage Festival. As the date approaches, we will bring you more details. That's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, Tuesday's state primary election results are in. Our newly appointed superintendent takes a unique look at our students' ride to school. Plus, Marlborough Savings Bank celebrates its new downtown location. And later in this half hour, it took quite a long time, but the French government recently honored one local resident with a prestigious award. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on Tuesday's election results. City Clerk Lisa Thomas has released results of Tuesday's primary election. 2,887 residents came out to vote, which is 14% of the voter population in the city. A precinct-by-precinct breakdown may be viewed on the city's website at marlborough-ma.gov. The next voting opportunity will take place on November 2nd for the state election. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. Marlborough police recently found cocaine on a Marlborough man who resisted officers when they tried to arrest him. Here's more in this story. 47-year-old Noel Rosa had 4 individually packaged bags of cocaine in the car he was driving. Rosa pushed back during the arrest, which injured one officer who suffered a hand injury, and another cop hurt his knee. Police went to Rosa's 5 Witherby Terrace home at about 5 p.m. with a search warrant following an investigation. Rosa was charged with possession with intent to distribute, a drug violation near a school or park, and resisting arrest. Rosa posted the $200 bail set by Marlborough District Court, and he's due back in court on October 25th.
Supporters of a request to serve alcohol at the 4 Kicks 2 facility stated Monday night at the City Council meeting that it would help the sports facility attract more adult teams and national programs, which would in turn create more revenue for the city. 4 Kicks 2 is seeking to amend its special permit, which has a provision that prohibits the Forest Street business from applying for a license to serve alcoholic drinks. The amendment would make it okay to apply for a license. The City Council's Urban Affairs Committee will next discuss the request. 4 Kicks 2 has been open in Marlborough since late 2008. The previously detoured plans for a Sonic drive-in restaurant appear to be back on track. Sonic and the landowner, the Gutierrez Company of Burlington, have now worked out an agreement. The chain has proposed building a restaurant near the Bank of America, 190 Boston Post Road West. In July, Building Commissioner Stephen Reed estimated that Sonic and Gutierrez were $250,000 to $500,000 apart on the costs of such tasks as engineering, blasting, water and sewer, curbing, and paving. But now the project is close to completing the site plan review process, and construction could start this fall. Sonic representatives have said the restaurant would likely take about 6 months to build. The school committee ratified a 3-year teacher's contract Tuesday night, ending 18 months of negotiation and marking a fresh start for the district. The contract, retroactive to last year, runs through August 2012. The union, the Marlborough Educators Association, okayed its end of the deal last week in voting to accept a memorandum of agreement. The negotiating terms of the union and the school committee reached the agreement in August. Deputy Superintendent Anthony Pope said the schools can now eliminate distractions and focus 100% on the students.
The decision is more than about a contract. It's about moving an educational community to a new level. And I think having a fresh start where we can partner with our teachers is very valuable and is what we need to do to change and improve what we're doing here for our children.
The school committee voted 5-1 to accept this agreement. The teachers union and the school committee plan to start collective bargaining for the next contract in October 2011, nearly a year before the current one runs out. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
Our newly appointed superintendent, Anthony Pope, started his day on Wednesday on a bus riding to Kane Elementary School. Pope's objective with riding buses is to visit with parents and children on the way to school to get first-hand feedback about how things are going so far.
Good morning, how we doing?
Dr. Anthony Pope has been enjoying his first few weeks of his first school year within this district as our newly elected superintendent. He has been beginning most mornings with his students on a bus with a backpack in order to get a first-hand look at the safety of our bus routes.
We have some areas that are probably not as safe. We may need to reconsider moving the routes to make them safer for our children.
Dr. Pope has been riding most mornings since school started. Besides checking the routes, Dr. Pope is enjoying starting his day talking to his students.
Stories. Who likes stories at school? Anybody? Who can tell me their favorite story? Every chance I can get out of my office, which I will do a lot, and everyone will see that, because our job is about children, and that's the single most motivating factor for me.
Dr. Pope has already begun talking about numerous programs he is going to implement to bring parents and students together to bring this district to a whole new level. A parent and community forum, Workout Wednesdays, a teacher focus group, and Coffee and Conversation are just some of the programs that are taking place next week. For more information, please visit mps-edu.org. Dr. Pope did state that the Parent Community Forum that's being held at Marlborough High School's Little Theater this Tuesday night at 7 p.m. is a crucial step in starting the conversation about our schools and how we can make this district better.
I want to hear what the community's vision is for Marlborough Public Schools. So please come out at 7 o'clock next week. We would love to see you there.
Marlborough Savings Bank's new downtown location hosted a celebration on Monday morning, minutes before the branch opened for business. Marlborough Savings Bank hosted a ribbon cutting on Monday morning at its new 3-floor, 16,000 square foot main office at Marlborough's downtown crossroads at Granger Boulevard and Route 85. U.S. Congressman Jim McGovern, Mayor Nancy Stevens, members of the City Council, along with several other officials and people involved in this project, gathered in front of the building for this ceremony.
It is an amazing project. I don't think anybody could have imagined when we started this, embarked on this years ago, that we would be standing in front of this absolutely beautiful building. I want to thank Rick and the entire board of directors and the employees for really having the commitment to the city of Marlborough, to downtown. This is a wonderful project that is going to bring so much to our downtown area, and your commitment to the city, celebrating 150 years with the bank this year, it's wonderful. So thank you very much for being such a great part of this city.
The branch has state-of-the-art telecommunications, energy-efficient components, and a drive-through ATM.
I'm a big fan of community banks because they're invested in the community. You know, their headquarters are not somewhere, you know, in another state. They're down here in downtown Marlborough, and they care about this community, the people who live here, and the way this city looks.
A longtime board member and past president were recognized with rooms named in their honor. A second-floor conference room was named after former bank president Lee Chaplin, who served in that capacity for 26 years. The third-floor boardroom was named for John Noble, a board member since the late 1960s and chairman of the board since 1975. Marlborough Savings Bank was founded on April 3, 1860, and celebrated its 150th anniversary this year.
We needed to improve our visibility and awareness, and we wanted a more efficient working environment.
During remarks made at the ribbon-cutting ceremony, Rick Bennett, president of Marlborough Savings Bank, says he expects the bank's new building will position the institution for 150 more years of stability and growth.
It was very important for us to stay in the downtown district, and we needed more space for our employees and room to grow. We needed to add certainly more convenience for our customers, and hence the 25 parking spaces, which is going to work out terrific for us.
The Marlborough Savings Bank branch is a step in the right direction in regards to sprucing up our downtown area, according to a newly formed group. Members are gathering this week and are encouraged to join in on the discussion. A core group of downtown business owners and professionals who believe that Marlborough's greater Main Street area is poised for significant growth in the coming decade has formed a group to aid in facilitating discussion and action for the downtown Marlborough area. Led by restaurant owners Mary and Randy Scott, Marlborough Savings Bank President Rick Bennett, Chamber of Commerce President Suzanne Morielli-Lieber, and attorney James Golden. Planning meetings have already been held for the new association named Marlborough's Downtown Village. An official kickoff meeting has been scheduled for this coming Tuesday, September 21st at 5 p.m. at the Main Street Cafe at 182 Main Street. All interested parties, including residents, workers, professionals, landlords, and business owners, are encouraged to attend. Those interested in learning more are invited to call Mary or Randy Scott at the Main Street Cafe at 508-485-7664. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, a new volunteer program aims to aid those in need of a ride. But first, 2 affordable housing open houses are happening this Sunday. That story's next. Please stay with us.
80% of U.S. fire deaths occur in the home. Hi, I'm firefighter Mark Asenko, here with some fire safety tips for you. Stay in the kitchen when you are frying, grilling, or broiling food. Talking on the phone, watching TV, using the computer are all distractions that can lead to home fires. Avoid wearing loose-fitting clothing when you are cooking. Pay attention when using the microwave. The simplest things such as cooking popcorn could cause a fire. Keep kids and pets away from the stove while you are cooking. Some of these tips may seem obvious, but they do save lives. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Thanks to the Community Development Authority's rehabilitation program, 2 local foreclosed homes have been renovated and turned into affordable housing. The open houses for both houses are taking place this Sunday. The Community Development Authority held an informational meeting on Wednesday night about the application process for affordable housing opportunities. Homes are for sale at 76 Preston Street for $200,000 and 5 Gleason Street for $225,000. The CDA is holding an open house at both locations this Sunday, September 19th from noon to 2 p.m. The authority is accepting applications until October 11th and will be holding a housing lottery on October 28th. For more information, please call the CDA office at 508-460-3715 or please visit marlborough-ma.gov. In an effort to better serve our city residents, a community service initiative is beginning to take shape. The program currently needs volunteers to transport our citizens to their medical appointments. The program is aiming to target senior center residents first. A program called FISH, which is Friends in Service Helping, is an international volunteer organization founded by members of the St. Andrew's Church in Oxford, England. Closer to Marlborough, FISH in Sudbury was organized in 1970.
The whole goal of the service is to transport people to medical appointments. It's a big need in many communities. We don't really have a service like that in Marlborough, volunteer service, and that's what we're really trying to start here.
Today it provides more than 1,000 rides per year for its town citizens when family and friends cannot provide the transportation.
We'll service the senior center, we'll service 2 other town residential properties, Academy Knolls, the villages at Marlborough East, and the village at Crane Meadows. That's kind of, we'll start there, and we'll expand as the number of volunteers allows us to do that.
All transportation is provided by volunteers using their own vehicles. The program aims to target the senior center for now, but then plans to expand. Anybody interested in becoming a coordinator or a driver is encouraged to call this program.
You call a single phone number, 508-485-6492. You go to extension 11, simply leave your name, your phone number, and that you're interested in this program called FISH.
In a ceremony at the Wayside Inn, a representative from the French consul recently decorated Marlborough veteran Henry Marchant with the Legion of Honor Award. We spoke with Henry this week to see how he feels about this award. 65 years after returning home from Europe at the conclusion of World War II, 94-year-old Henry Marchant of Marlborough received the French Legion of Honor Award at a ceremony held at the Wayside Inn.
Well, it all started when I got a letter from the French Consul General in Boston, notifying me that I was selected.
The Legion of Honor is the highest honor that is awarded by France. The medal is awarded only in cases of exceptional military and civilian service.
I was a member of the Yankee Division, and we landed in France in 44.
Henry, who was a technical sergeant in the 101st Infantry, landed in Cherbourg, France, where he describes the horrific conditions his company faced.
It rained just about every day, right, and was cold and wet, and there was no way of getting dry clothes. We lived in wet clothes, and I remember waking up one morning with an inch of snow on me. They fed us K rations and C rations, always a few cigarettes in it. And standing in a foxhole, cold and wet, and it was, so your chain smoked. It felt like it was going to warm your hands anyway.
Even confronted with such atrocious living conditions, Henry's company captured a strategic hill where his unit suffered a number of casualties and Henry was wounded. Henry would be injured a second time near the city of Bettesdorf. He recovered quickly, and after 3 days of combat, the Nazi-occupied city of Metz finally fell, thanks in part to the heroic acts of Henry Marchant. In addition to his most recent medal, Henry has been awarded 2 Purple Hearts, the European African Middle Eastern Campaign Ribbon, and the Good Conduct Medal. But mention these awards to Henry, and he quickly downplays his actions and gives credit to the many other soldiers he fought alongside of.
If you were in the same circumstance, you'd do the same thing I did.
Henry did that and a whole lot more. Coming up, your pet of the week and your weather outlook for the weekend and into next week. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
This month on Living History.
It's because it's so recognizable, and it's just a beautiful landmark that makes Marlborough distinctive.
The one thing that was a constant for him was his hatred of slavery.
He spent his whole life fighting the slave problem. He knew it was wrong.
While looking around, they spotted the John Brown Bell.
Today we have Mikey, and Mikey is a purebred Japanese Chin. They make great companion dogs. And Mikey is a really good one because he's a little bit older, he's 9 years old, he's very housebroken, he's here at Buddy Dog because his owner passed away. He's really good with everyone, he sits quietly, and he even seems to be good with quiet children as well. So if you're interested in Mikey, please feel free to call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
We may have saw some rain on Friday, but the days ahead look just great. Let's take a look now at your 5-day forecast. That's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, 50 businesses joined together Wednesday morning to network thanks to a business summit. Marlborough Airport experienced an unfortunate landing Wednesday night, plus solar panels on state-owned facilities thanks to a green initiative and 2 local companies. And later in this half hour, after 35 years, outgoing Superintendent Mary Carlson says goodbye to her dedicated staff. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Organizers of Wednesday's Business Innovation Summit brought over 50 businesses together to network and to figure out ways to do business better here in Marlborough. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on this week's top story. Business and community leaders stated at an inaugural summit that Marlborough has a mountain of innovative companies, and those companies should get a helping hand from the city. The Marlborough Business Innovation Summit, co-sponsored by Mirko O'Connell and the Marlborough Economic Development Corporation, brought together more than 50 companies, city councilors, state legislators, and other authorities. The campus, the site of the summit, is an example of places that are the future of Marlborough. The campus, which is located in an industrial park off Cimarano Drive, is home to companies such as Cateros, a biofuel company. Greg Bielecki, State Housing and Economic Development Secretary, states Massachusetts has always been a hub of ingenuity, with Marlborough one of its leaders.
Here in Massachusetts, I cannot think of anything of which the governor and I are more proud than to see how our innovation economy is spreading all across the state, across all regions, and even into our older industrial cities, creating new economic opportunities everywhere it goes. And as you heard, there's no better example of that than Marlborough.
Chairman of the Economic Development Corporation, Arthur Bergeron, pointed to benefits for businesses in the city that include open space, a hospital, and a mall. But he also asked where the city could make improvements for its businesses and their employees, from constructing housing complexes to adding recreation opportunities.
What do your employees want? Because we know you're not selling things here. You're not here because you're selling on the Marlborough Main Street. You're selling in China, you're selling in Europe. The question is, as you are out there selling, how can we make your employees so like it here that when you decide to grow, they all say, oh, please, 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 we want to stay in Marlborough.
Bergeron stated that with more tax revenue, the city can grow in facilities such as its library and senior center. Through this summit, organizers hoped companies would network with each other and city leaders. Some business representatives said they came out for that purpose. Mayor Nancy Stevens, who did not attend because of an illness, appeared in a video message. She states she would like the city to help businesses grow and prosper in Marlborough. Michael Hogan, a former chairman of the Economic Development Corporation's Board of Directors, stated good economic development is about growing your own.
If you don't have a plan and a strategy to reach out to companies that are here and help them to grow, then you're not going to succeed. That's what this summit is about. This is what the organization is about.
Marlborough Airport experienced an unfortunate landing on Wednesday night. Despite the crash, no one was injured. A single-engine, 4-seat propeller plane attempting to land at Marlborough Airport Wednesday night slammed into the chain-link fence separating the end of the runway from Farm Road, closing the road for about an hour and a half. Fire Chief Ricky Plummer was on the scene and says the 2 men inside the plane walked away uninjured from the 6:30 p.m. accident.
We had originally got a call for a plane crash at the Marlborough Airport. Second call that we got was that it had gone through the fence. Third call actually said that they went through the fence into the roadway.
The plane's impact pushed a section of the fence into the road's shoulder.
No fuel leak, no major damage to the plane, some minor damage.
The nose of the plane missed striking a stop sign attached to the runway side of the fence by a couple of feet. Bob Stetson, the owner of the 1920s-era private airstrip, drove a backhoe out of the end of the runway and pulled the fixed-wing airplane out from the fence. Authorities did not release the names of the 2 men in the plane. Police arrested a Marlborough teen on Friday who they say stole a funeral worker's van from outside Immaculate Conception Church during a funeral mass. 18-year-old Joshua Camber did not stop for police and got out when the car was still in gear, causing it to crash into a fence at about noon. Police caught him after a short foot chase that ended near the AutoZone on East Main Street. Camber now faces several charges, including larceny of a car. A Framingham man accused of going on a 2009 robbery rampage in Marlborough was sentenced to 2 years in jail after a Middlesex Superior Court judge accepted his guilty plea this week. 20-year-old Michael Rilling has been held at the Middlesex County House of Correction in Billerica since February 2009. After serving his jail sentence, Rilling will also serve 3 years probation after his release. An ongoing investigation led to the finding of 2 illegal handguns in an apartment on Main Street last week. A man was arrested on both gun and drug charges. 27-year-old Evan Higgins was ordered held on $5,000 cash bail at his arraignment in Marlborough District Court last Friday. As part of an ongoing investigation, police obtained a search warrant for Higgins' apartment and the McDonald Hotel at 276 Main Street. Higgins was not home when police conducted a search. Police found a loaded .22 caliber semi-automatic handgun, which was not properly stored and did not have a safety lock. Police also found cocaine. In his vehicle, police found another unsecured handgun with a defaced serial number and no trigger lock. Higgins was charged with 2 counts of possessing a firearm without a firearms license, improper storage of a firearm, defacing a firearm's serial number, 2 counts of possession of a Class B drug, possession with intent to distribute, and a drug violation near a school or park. Higgins is due back in court on October 15th.
City councilors Tuesday night strongly supported plans to turn a large vacant building on Pleasant Street into condos. The City Council's Urban Affairs Committee voted 5-0 to recommend approving a special permit application for the proposed development at the 4-story building at 110 to 118 Pleasant Street, commonly called Corbin Plaza. The Howe Shoe Factory condominiums would have 17 two-bedroom condos and 1 business office. The condos would likely cost between $220,000 and $230,000. The developer, Stas Burdan, placed the winning bid on the property at an auction earlier this month. The property went on the auction block 2 other times in the last 2 years, but remained vacant. The city foreclosed on the property in 2008 after the former landlord could not pay the back taxes. The City Council plans to vote on the special permit at the meeting on Monday. The developer needs the special permit before it can get its funding in place. Burdan said his team intends to start working on the project right away. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
Computing giant IBM has agreed to pay $1.7 billion for Netezza Corporation, a Marlborough firm that makes systems for analyzing corporate data. The deal is the second largest acquisition of a Massachusetts technology company this year. Netezza's technology combines software, storage, and systems into an integrated appliance that can quickly manage complex information requests. IBM plans to integrate Netezza into its software group, which is expected to generate almost half of the company's profits by 2015. The 2 companies have been strategic partners for many years. In the last 4 years, IBM has invested more than $12 billion in 23 analytics-related acquisitions. Renewable energy companies from Holliston and Marlborough will play key roles in a project that will install solar panels on state-owned facilities. Renewable Sales of Holliston said it will supply 11,000 panels manufactured by Marlborough-based Evergreen Solar for the initiative. The $9.8 million plan includes $5.3 million in federal stimulus cash. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, an innovative group is about to change the way you look at downtown Main Street. But first, our new school leader hears from parents at our community forum. Please stay with us. We're back with that story after this short break.
Hi, my name is Daniel. My brother Jacob has autism. Most people don't know what that is. We've learned about autism. To the Autism Alliance of Metro West, we met other families just like ours. Now it's easier for us to do fun things all together. Please visit the website at www.autismalliance.org.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Our newly appointed superintendent, Dr. Anthony Pope, wanted to hear from parents Tuesday night about what they want out of this school district. Numerous residents came to ask questions and to hear Dr. Pope's vision for Marlborough Public Schools. Approximately 75 parents were in attendance for the session that lasted just over an hour and a half. The forum was one of several communications initiatives Pope has set up both to dispense information and to solicit feedback from parents and the community at large. The superintendent asked the crowd what the purpose is of education and what are the factors that influence student achievement. A variety of replies were offered by the audience. Pope made a point to highlight the importance of expectations. Parents got a chance to ask Dr. Pope questions and bring up topics for discussion. Buses, behavior, class sizes, communications, grade alignment in schools, and school marketing were discussed at the forum. The superintendent stated he expects to hold sessions once a month, but has not yet set a schedule.
I need your help. As a new superintendent, it's no way possible that I can come and do this job by myself. I need teachers' help. I've already told them I need them. I need parents' help. I need everyone's help, because if we're going to expose our children, if we're going to teach them how to be adults and instill independence in them, it's going to take everybody coming together to do that work.
Visit mps-edu.org for more information. Outgoing Superintendent Mary Carlson officially said goodbye at a retirement party at Marlborough High School Friday afternoon, and we were there. Superintendent Mary Carlson spent hours with colleagues, students, former students, and friends at Marlborough High School's cafeteria. A special performance by the school's orchestra was performed especially for Carlson. In addition, a bench was presented to Mary in her honor, and a scholarship was given to her in her name. Carlson and administrators will discuss the prerequisites for the scholarship in the coming months. Carlson officially retires on October 3rd. A newly formed group called Marlborough Downtown Village met on Tuesday night to discuss ways to improve our downtown Main Street area. The group meets twice a month and welcomes all residents to be part of this improvement process. The Marlborough Downtown Village held a kickoff meeting this past Tuesday night at the Main Street Cafe at 182 Main Street. The meeting aimed to generate discussion among residents, employees, landlords, and business owners.
Since late spring, a core group of us have been meeting here at Main Street Cafe, just discussing what kind of things we could springboard, to get going.
The group has a few tasks it would like to see movement on soon. One of the group's leaders, Mary Scott, says downtown needs improvements to its parking, better signs pointing to downtown and its parking spots, and more inviting and safe pathways.
If we accomplish a few things, it's going to make this a more viable downtown, a more interesting place to come for people.
A group of Tufts graduate students speaking to the Marlborough Economic Development Corporation earlier this year presented a downtown action plan that included improving parking and signs. That plan was a springboard for the Marlborough Downtown Village. The new group is also seeking to attract crowds downtown through events similar to the Taste of Downtown Marlborough. Business owners have been working on the idea for the Marlborough Downtown Village for several months. The group is looking to expand and eventually work with City Hall. Downtown Village meets every 2 weeks. For more information, please call Mary or Randy Scott at the Main Street Cafe at 508-485-7664. The completion of the new Marlborough Savings Bank branch is just one project that's helping beautify the downtown area. Just 1 year ago, the bank was breaking ground on their new location, 81 Granger Boulevard, and today, the facility has been open for business for 2 weeks. President Rick Bennett joined other bank staff, local officials, friends, and associates in celebrating the opening of the new Marlborough Savings Bank headquarters with an early morning ribbon cutting last week. The 3-floor, 16,000 square foot main office at Marlborough's downtown crossroads, Granger Boulevard and Route 85 received rave reviews from all in attendance. The institution had outgrown its Main Street address, according to Bennett, who is excited to be in the new headquarters. Marlborough Savings Bank was founded on April 3, 1860, and celebrated its 150th anniversary this year. The opening of the bank marked the official completion of major improvements that have been going on for years at downtown's Southern Gateway. The process that led to construction of the bank actually began back in 2003. Prior to the move, the bank occupied 2 Main Street storefronts. Most of those departments have now moved to this new location. The operations and its offices moved upstairs at 166 Main Street, while the 178 location is now vacant. Coming up, details about the annual Heritage Festival, your pet of the week, and your weather outlook for the weekend and into next week. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
80% of U.S. fire deaths occur in the home. Hi, I'm firefighter Mark Asenko, here with some fire safety tips for you. Stay in the kitchen when you are frying, grilling, or broiling food. Talking on the phone, watching TV, using the computer are all distractions that can lead to home fires. Avoid wearing loose-fitting clothing when you are cooking. Pay attention when using the microwave. The simplest things such as cooking popcorn could cause a fire. Keep kids and pets away from the stove while you are cooking. Some of these tips may seem obvious, but they do save lives. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The city's annual Heritage Festival is just 1 week away. This will be the 15th annual event. Here are the details. The Heritage Festival is a joint effort by the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce and the city to provide a day of fun for the entire family while celebrating the city's rich heritage. The festival was held in 1996 and has grown considerably over the years. Thousands of city residents and visitors have descended on Main Street for the event, usually held during an early weekend in October. The Chowderfest, one of the festival's biggest attractions, will return once again this year. This year's event is scheduled for Sunday, October 3rd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and will be preceded once again by the Main Street Mile, a 1-mile road race that will conclude at City Hall.
Today we have Gina, and Gina is a cute little shepherd lab mix. She's about 5 months old. She is active, playful, friendly, outgoing, gonna make a great family pet. She'll be spayed here at Buddy Dog next week, and then she'll be ready to go to her new home. So if you're interested in Gina or any of the other dogs we have here at Buddy Dog, please feel free to call us at 978-443-6990.
Fall may be officially here, but temperatures have been feeling more like summer. Let's find out if it lasts. Here's a look at your 5-day forecast. Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Women from the Marlborough area who are interested in studying scriptures are invited to a women's Catholic Bible study at the Immaculate Conception School. Meetings are every Saturday morning from 10 to 11:30. The study involves small group discussions, questions to review at home, and a large group lecture. For more information, please call Chris Snyder at 508-303-3717. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us.